Hey guys, what's going on? It's Mike with FormAWin here to help you guys get your first engineering job. Today we have Cameron. He's a rock star. Super excited to get into it. Let's roll.
FormAWin for over 4 months
Part
now.
of the FormAWin community for a couple months now.
I just got my first internship.
Just landed my first internship.
Biggest thing I want you guys to do is take one thing away from today and make sure you implement it, change your life.
100% directly resulted in me getting an internship offer.
Cameron, what's going on, man? Glad to have you. You were definitely one of our top clients. It's been an interesting journey with you. I'm very, very excited for you to kind of get into it, but I'm very happy to have you here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's been a long journey, but it's been a really good one.
Yeah, man. So why don't you just kind of lay it on the people, tell them about your whole situation, what's going on, and how this search has been.
Yeah, so my name is Cameron Paul. I'm a mechanical engineer. I joined FormAWin kind of because I was looking for a job. My fiance was moving states to come out to medical school, and I needed to get situated so I could come over with her. I was on a bit of a time crunch. I was looking at about 6 to 8 weeks worth of time where I could really figure out what I was trying to do. And so about in April, I was applying for about a month and not seeing the results I wanted, and I ended up finding FormAWin through LinkedIn and some old connections that I had with Michael, and decided to hop on, and it was great. I think we worked together, and in the time that I was working with him, I went from having no real contact coming back all the way up to I think I had 1 week with between like 5 and 6 interview calls, phone screenings, different things like that. And it all ended up working out great. I'm out here in Michigan now, and I'm at a role that I really, really wanted and really enjoy. And yeah, everything just worked out fantastic.
Hey guys, sorry for the quick interruption to the video. If you feel related to Cameron's story at all, reach out to us. We're more than happy to help. We work with any engineering industry and we guarantee results. So we got your back for life. Feel free to click the link below and stay until the end of the video. I got something special for you. Yeah, man, we made the whole dream scenario happen. I'm really proud of you. Between the whole going back and forth negotiation interview here, bada bang, bada boom. It was a really, fun story. I definitely want you to talk about some of that. But why don't we start with maybe kind of before you were in FormAWin? You said you were kind of applying for a month, and then obviously we had that time crunch, which made me excited to work with you because I was like, all right, cool, we got like a specific goal, and like this is just clockwork for me, and like I just love doing it. It's like playing a game, and it's like, hey, we have this mission, and let's just go crush the mission, right? So that's kind of how I treat it, but it's
Absolutely.
your life, and I love that, and like it was just such a good story. So I was so happy to take you on as a client. But talk to us a little bit more about kind of how it was feeling before, like the whole job search, everything you were going through, and then like when you started FormAWin, right? So like just talk a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. So beforehand, like I said, the biggest driver for me was my fiance going to medical school.
Mhm.
So kind of right up coming into that April, May timeline when she was getting her final acceptances, I really didn't know where I was going to be. I started in Colorado, and was just kind of waiting on that final decision about where we were going to be moving. And so as I was trying to apply, I had been kind of slowly applying different places, but I really wasn't seeing any movement. Um, and I mean, prior to working with FormAWin, the only real job application I had was in school doing internships. A lot of the connections I ended up getting through that were mainly through career fairs, in person stuff. That's where I felt most comfortable. And so, kind of being in the space where everything I was doing was online, completely just resume forward or connection forward, without being able to go meet people face to face, was I find to be really tough, especially because I couldn't come out to where I was going to be to do any of those career fairs or virtual interviews. And so, kind of right around April, when I was really trying to kick that up, I just wasn't seeing any progress. I was applying to everything I could find, kind of big name companies, small name companies. A lot of them, I was just hearing nothing back. The ones I was hearing stuff back was mainly just kind of, hey, we saw your resume, we're moving on with a different candidate, or we think you're not, the right fit. And for me, knowing I had that time crunch, knowing I wanted to be out here basically as soon as she was coming out, I needed something to change, and that's why I really started looking for, anything that I could do, any kind of career help, anything like that. And I had had a message with Michael, a couple months back when I was still in school. I think he had found my profile and reached out, and we had had kind of a short chat. Um, and I remembered it, and I ended up going back and looking into it some more. And I thought the work he was doing was really cool. I thought FormAWin was really cool, and seeing some of the testimonials, seeing the work that you did, really drew me in. And I decided to hop on and see what we could do. And nothing could hurt my situation. Absolutely. Like I said, I wasn't seeing anything. And so having anything that could push me forward was the goal. And it absolutely did. And, once I came on, we got really kind of into it. You really pushed me to be on top of my applications, be on top of everything else. If nothing else, it gave me the structure to really evaluate what I had done day to day to actually get this job role, like application rolling. And I think for me, that was one of the biggest drivers. Is it kept me accountable, it kept me reliable, and as much of it was mentoring and being able to bounce ideas off of you, so much of it was helping me realize how much or how little I was actually doing day to day, and that really pushed me forward. And I think it took a little bit of time for it to all come into effect, between the changes we made to my resume, the changes that I did on LinkedIn, things like that. But pretty quickly, once everything kind of came together, it all hit at once. I saw several phone calls. I had recruiters reaching out. I was getting different phone screenings left and right. And then between that and the follow-up work that we did and that you helped me do, I saw stuff coming back. I had one interview that turned from a phone screening into an interview into an offer in the matter of like 4 days.
Yep.
And that was crazy to see. And on top of that, at the same time, I was like juggling another interview, and then I had like 2 interviews in the same day, and it was just crazy, crazy, crazy.
It was a lot.
But everything really came together in about like 2 weeks, and then I had this crazy 2 weeks where I was doing interviews and I was moving, and it all worked out great. It all worked out fantastic. But it was
man, you did good. It was I mean, it was definitely a lot to juggle, but like that, like that's something else too, guys, right? I always talk about, we don't have to do it, we get to do it. And I mean, he took that and ran with it, especially like all those skills that you kind of just picked up and learned. I mean, obviously we went over tactical things, how to follow up, how to do LinkedIn things, resume, this, and that. And like that, like that's the big part. But some of it as well is like that kind of what you just went through. Like now, like that was a whole big ambitious drive, and it was awesome. And I'm sure that, like you enjoyed every second of it, but also it was like a little stressful and it was going back and forth. But now that kind of set the bar, right? Like going through that, and like this is also me talking with you too, aside from everybody watching, like you're gonna be able to take that's and what we went through, you're gonna be able to apply that to your career too, and that's gonna help you get promoted quicker as well. All this stuff we're doing, like this is a whole trajectory, right? It's just a change of what we've been told, different things of how to do things, and it's just completely different. And now you can take that and run with it. And like, I mean, I'm really proud of you because you got a lot of different connections out of this too, and you basically got the whole place where you're moving, like calling you up, getting ready to go. So I mean, that was also fun to see, man. But what would you say was one of the biggest shifts? I mean, we kind of went over a lot, but I mean, maybe you can expand on someone, or someone watching. Like, what was one of the biggest shifts? Like when you started FormAWin, what was it? Just the work ethic? Was it more so, or just what? Like, what was one of the biggest shifts that you had inside the program?
Yeah, I think I'm going to call out two big ones. I think number one for me was kind of the work ethic thing. I always like to think of myself as a hard worker, but I think having kind of that structure, having those daily check-ins or weekly check-ins where I had that accountability of saying, really pick apart your week. Tell me what was your wins, what were the losses, what can we work on, and having someone I can talk to about that, push me to say, okay, yeah, sure, good week, but let's make it great. Let's do our best, make it a perfect week. Let's do what we can. I think that really forced me to push myself beyond what I was doing beforehand. And like, I remember, just that transition, even from kind of April into May, where I joined, having that jump from what felt like I was doing, I don't know how many applications I was doing a week. It felt like a lot, but I don't think it really was. And then getting into it, being like, all right, it's not just spraying a bunch of applications everywhere, but it turned into like, I've got dedicated applications every day I'm trying to get in. I've got dedicated connections I'm trying to get in every day. And making those changes, I think, really pushed me above to that next level where, sure, if 80% of them didn't come back or 60%, or it didn't matter what it was, having those out there, knowing that every connection I made was of value and not just, applying to apply. I think that was one of the biggest things, that it put me in a position where the work I was doing was all quality work. And every application I put in always ended up being to a company where no matter what the outcome was, it was something I would have enjoyed. And I really saw that towards the end when I was getting offers and when I was trying to juggle that. like, yes, I had 3 offers lined up. All 3 of them would have been companies I enjoyed. All 3 of them would have been fine. But every time it got a little bit better. And the one that I ended up taking and the one I'm going to be working for ended up being a company that I had never heard of before. I didn't know, but doing that research, kind of figuring that out, gave me a company that I think I'm really going to love. And
Yeah.
going forward, it's something I'm really going to be interested in. And on top of that, I think you really pushed me to kind of break my perceptions about what it meant to apply different places. Really, I saw it with the resume thing. I saw it with kind of LinkedIn, but moving past just, repeating what people had given to me, 1-page resumes, or things can't look pretty, or things, whatever it is, having a portfolio, having websites, things like that, where sure, there's so much information out there about things that could help, can help, whatever. But having that direct access to talk with you to really figure out what I'm doing, I think really put it over the edge. And it really helped me get past the fear of saying, like, well, what if I'm not doing it perfect? What if it's not the way that everybody says it should be? It didn't matter. In the end, it was like, we got a system that worked for me. I put my best foot forward. You helped me find what that was and tell my story the right way. And it ended up working out great.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I love it, right? So painting pictures and telling stories, that's kind of what we applied all throughout, especially for everybody watching them too, right? I mean, when we're building relationships, connections, or doing anything, I always like to say, you guys probably have heard me say it a million times, especially in my videos, but we always want to leave people better than we found them. If we do that, worst case scenario is that we change their lives, right? That's every networking situation, every application, every interview. If we leave people better than we found them, we're changing lives regardless of the outcome or what the case is. And that's just a model that we should always live by, right? And Cameron kind of did that, rock with that. And that's why everybody loved him, right? We learned how to paint pictures, tell stories, and convey your message. But also something else too is, right? Like, I mean, I can give you the whole strategy and all the stuff that we did, which worked, but it's also like you're a great person too, right? And for everybody watching, I'm sure you're a good person too. We just gotta, clean it up a little bit and then paint it and tell it a little bit differently. And then it's just like that's marketing, right? I always like saying treating our career like a business. We need to learn how to sell, market, advertise ourselves. It's just all this is so baked in and it's just so critical. And that's why I started FormAWin too, because I didn't have a lot of this, people treating this super analytically. I always wanted to coach someone fighting for me. So, and like the best part about this is working with awesome clients like yourself, Cameron, that just come, show up, take action, act on it, have a dream, and make it happen. So, I mean, I'm super proud of you, man. But why don't you share some of the work you're going to be doing, like just the type of work and stuff that you might be working on?
Yeah, yeah. So the place I ended up is kind of an industrial design house almost. They do a lot of quick to long-term projects, anything from like as short as 2 weeks. Company comes in, they want something explored, they don't have the resources on their own, but they're happy to pay someone to do it, all the way up to, a startup doesn't have their own engineering team, but they have an idea. And if they've got the funding, they need someone to do it. So it's going to be working with that product team, working with that team to design, work tightly with kind of industrial design to bring those to life. Whether that's I want to hop on a project that's as simple as like, go find out if this individual mechanism works, or if we can get this movement to work somehow in certain constraints, or it's as large as like, we just want to build something that fits into the space. We have a consumer or a product that we need built, but we don't know anything about how to do it. And so I'm really excited for that. It sounds like the company's really big on, allowing their engineers to hop on projects they want to do, not that they necessarily have experience on, and really, force them to learn, get them the materials and the people they need to learn, and work with who's there. And so I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to be design heavy. It's going to be fast paced, but it's really going to be a large variety of work, and I'm really excited to be doing that.
Awesome, man.
That's really what I wanted to do.
Sounds pretty exciting. And, you had said earlier that we didn't know about this company. We put in some research to find this, right? Just through our kind of system of processing this and identifying where we want to be. And this happened to just be a perfect location, very close to home. And it's just like, it just worked out perfectly, right? And that's kind of, we painted the picture. We said, okay, this is the ideal outcome. And then like this was the fun part, because we kept leveling up. We kept doing what you said. We got the different offers and like so many interviews going back and forth, guys. I mean, like this was fun. Like this is part of the game too. Getting offers, negotiating. Okay, a little bit better here. Boom, 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 boom. And we just made so many different things happen to get this like perfect outcome. So again, Cameron, I'm super proud of you, man. And it was just such a blessing working with you. And I know you're going to also stay active in the community afterwards too. I love keeping everybody close in the alumni network. For everybody watching, it's very critical, because everybody that comes in this program program is very like-minded, and it's critical we stay close together, especially in this world. When we don't know what's changing, if we're all staying close together, we all operate together, then we all move together, we all grow together. Critical stuff. But Cameron, one last question for you, man, is going to be, just anybody that's watching that's considering joining FormAWin, they might be on the fence about it. What would you tell them?
I think I'd tell them, it's absolutely worth it. It will change everything about how you approach not your just job applications, but also kind of life, about the way you apply. I think one of my favorite stories that I didn't mention earlier is, I had a call early on with a recruiter who offered me some job selections, and they came back to me the next day and they said, I don't think you're a good fit. These are too manufacturing based, something like that. And not even a month later, I got a call from a different recruiter, same company, same 3 job offerings. And they said, let's roll with it. And those ended up being one of the ones that I got an offer from. And so I think for me, it is so much of that. I know I had it in me. I know I had the skills, but taking that step to market yourself, taking that step to, really speak that into existence, speak that to other people, show them what you're about, is what FormAWin did for me. And it really showed me how I could do that. And I think if you're in a situation where you know that you'd be great for a job, you'd be, the right candidate, right fit, or it's a company that you love, and for whatever reason they're not seeing you, I think give it a shot, because absolutely working with FormAWin gave me that next step where when I came back, or the next time they saw me, it wasn't even a question. We went through with it,
Yeah.
And I think that is just fantastic. And so if anyone's out there, questioning it or on the fence of like, is this worth it? And you're seeing that, or you're seeing any kind of roadblock where you're not getting past ATS or something, this absolutely is a program that can get you over that hump and get you past to that next step where that's not the block. The block is just getting yourself out there, showing the right people who you are, and that will carry you the rest of the way.
I love it, Cameron. Thank you for the kind words, man. And, again, it was great. This company is going to, they're getting one of the best engineers in the world here. You know what I'm saying? So I love it, man. Everybody watching, thank you for watching. Stay connected. Reach out if you need help with anything. We got your back for life, and we'll see you later. Go FormAWin. Bye, everyone. Congratulations on making it until the end of the video. You are the true 1%er. Many don't make it until the end. So what this tells me is that you are serious about your goals. You want to accomplish them, and you want real results. So reach out to us. Again, we got your back. Whatever you need. We have several other client testimonials. Check them out on LinkedIn, as well as our YouTube channel, and we got your back for life. We'll see you soon. Catch you next time.